Good day, everyone. This is the episode 3 of our educational channel on the topic of Healthy 11 from Unit 1. We are going to discuss 4 grammatical rules on today's episode. The first grammatical rule for today is going to be gerund versus infinitives. Which one are you going to use? Going or going to? Now, after some verbs, you have to know whether you should use an ing form or a to plus infinitive verb form. Some verbs require the use of ing, such as admit, good at, consider, dislike, etc. An example for that would be, I enjoyed playing tennis. More examples for you. I practice walking every day. I admit, throwing the ball into the basket is very hard. My friend suggests reading books. Now, some verbs require the use of the to plus infinitive verb, such as agree, arrange, ask, attempt, etc. The correct form would be, I wanted to study Japanese. I wanted to study Japanese. Another example, I like to run in the early morning. You need to train hard before the weightlifting competition. Lucy decided to take care of my cat while traveling. Now, some verbs can have either ing or the to plus infinitive verb and keep the same meaning. Those verbs are attempt, begin, continue, hate, like, love, prefer, start, and try. Examples: the band started to play. The band started playing. Now let's take an exercise to test your understanding. Choose the correct answer between brackets. I enjoy, meet, meeting, meets, my friends during the weekend. We spend the time practicing our hobbies. We are interested in playing, play, played, computer games. Sometimes we go to the cinema if we want to watch, watched, watching a film. It's useful to meet, meeting your friends, especially during the holidays. Take your time to choose the correct answer. Very well. Let's check for the correct answers. I enjoy meeting my friends during the weekend. We are interested in playing computer games. Sometimes we go to the cinema if we want to watch a film. It's useful to meet your friends, especially during the holidays. Very good. Now, let's move on to the next grammatical rule for today. The present simple tense. Take a look at the picture before you. I wake up every day at 8 o'clock. Let me tell you a simple story about Mike. Mike is a 10-year-old boy. These are his daily routine activities. He usually gets up early in the morning. He always eats healthy food. He often trains for the basketball competition. And he waters the plants every week. Now let's take a look at the form of the present simple tense. Whenever you use I, you, we, they, you take the base form of the verb. However, whenever you use he, she, or it, you're going to take the base form of the verb plus an s. Here are some examples. I train for the basketball competition. Mike trains for the basketball competition. He trains for the basketball competition. Now, we use the present simple to talk about something that is true in the present. Example, I go to school on foot. Or, we use it to express something that is always true. Here is a scientific fact for you. The earth goes around the sun. Let's switch to the negative form. Whenever you use he, she, it, you're going to use doesn't plus the base form of the verb. Example, he doesn't play football at the weekend. Whereas if you use I, you, we, they, you take a don't plus the base form of the verb. Example, we don't play video games in the game center. Moreover, the negative form of always is never. So we have an example here. Vegetarians always eat meat. Vegetarians never eat meat. Now let's move on to the present simple question form. How do you make a question? You use WH question word plus do plus I, you, we, they plus the base form of the verb. Where do you live? I live in Kuwait. Here is another way. WH question word plus does plus he, she, it plus the base form of the verb. What does Henry do? He plays tennis. Now come into the third grammatical rule for today's episode, the adverbs of frequency. Look at the picture before you. How often do you use the internet? I always use the internet. Take a look at the inverted pyramid before you. It gives a percentage for every adverb. For example, always takes 100%, whereas never takes 0%. Now the adverbs of frequency are always, usually, often, sometimes, and never. Example, I always cook pizza at the weekend. More examples. Tom sometimes watches TV. Claire and Dennis always walk to school. My family often goes to the same restaurant. My father never goes to work late. Now let's have some exercises to test your understanding. Do as shown between brackets. The young boy crosses the street fast. Make negative. The young boy doesn't cross the street fast. I always stay up late at night. Make negative. I never stay up late at night. Mary travels abroad every summer. Ask a question. How often does Mary travel? Well done. Now, my father works in a big factory. Ask a question. Where does your father work? Very well. Let's move on to the last grammatical rule for today's episode. Present continuous tense. We are studying English. We are studying English now. The present continuous tense form is something like I plus am plus verb plus ing. I am playing with my friends. Here is another form. He, she, it plus is plus verb plus ing. Example, he is playing tennis. Another one, you, we, they plus are plus verb plus ing. They are traveling to Paris in the summer. We often use the time expressions like now, look, listen, and at the moment with the present continuous. Hence, I am reading a book at the moment. Let's switch to the negative form. Using I plus am not plus verb plus ing. I'm not going on a vacation this year. Whereas he, she, it plus isn't plus verb plus ing is going to give you she isn't singing a song. Now when it comes to you, we, they, it takes aren't plus verb plus ing. You aren't walking in the right direction. Now let's jump to the question form. WH question word plus am, are, is plus I or you, we, they or he, she, it plus verb plus ing. What are you doing here? I am shopping with my family. Another example. When is she going home? She is going home at 7 o'clock. What are they doing? They are sleeping. Now let's have more exercises. Choose the correct answer between brackets. I like summer and I always take pictures during my trips. I take and taking took a picture now. In the picture, a girl reading is reading reads a book. At the same time, another girl is playing played play on the sand. Many people swim is swimming are swimming in the sea. Take your time while answering. Now let's check together for the right answers. I like summer and I always take pictures during my trips. I am taking a picture now. In the picture, a girl is reading a book. At the same time, another girl is playing on the sand. Many people are swimming in the sea. Very good. More exercises for you. For a better understanding, do as shown between brackets. Lara is cooking a delicious meal. Ask a question. What is Lara cooking? Moving on. They are eating at the moment. Make negative. They aren't eating at the moment. Excellent. Tim is working this week. Make negative. Tim isn't working this week. Very good. Let's move on. Sarah and her sister are practicing for the race. Ask a question. What are Sarah and her sister doing? Excellent job. Now to finish up our episode, we are going to differentiate between the present simple tense and the present continuous tense. Jack is a basketball player. Now, when we are going to use the time expression usually, it refers to the present simple tense. Whereas, if you are going to use now, it refers to the present continuous. Thus, it's going to be Jack usually plays for the basketball national team. Now, he is staying at home because he has a broken leg. He usually takes exercise in the morning. Now, he is using walking sticks. He usually never misses a training session. Now, he is staying at home. He never goes to the stadium late. Now, he isn't going to work at all. Now, let's have one more exercise before we conclude our episode. Ask a question. Mark goes running twice a week. How often does Mark go running? Lara is watering the garden. What is Lara doing? Very good. Emma and Sophia play chess at the weekend. When do Emma and Sophia play chess? Excellent. What did we learn today? On completion of this episode, we learned about the different uses of the gerund versus infinitives, the simple present tense versus the present continuous tense, and the adverbs of frequency. Thank you for watching.